Shalom. First, let's start out by giving all great honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakadash. The belongings of teachers, elders, and the apostle of great millstone, likewise, brothers, put on this truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep and do brothers and sisters. Doing it, Shalom. Today's lesson's titled, But at the end, it shall speak and not lie. Now, take a look at this picture I have here. And this is basically a journey of Jake's throughout, the years or the centuries, being here in Great Babylon, America. And you have what is representing the elites, looking at basically their conquest of the children of Israel, from slavery all the way up to 2026, where they're pumping into Jake's head that, they're a part of a system, or this kingdom, that is supposedly moving forward, into the space age and beyond. And that is far from the truth. In fact, let's go into Deuteronomy 28 and starting with verse 48. And you can see this picture represent basically all of this. It says, Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord Yahweh Shai shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Now, for the unspiritual eyes, you look and say, well, we were in slavery, we had the emancipation, we try to rebuild. And now look at Jake right now, they're, Grammy Award winning artists, they're winning Oscars and they have business and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what they don't see is the big picture, okay? We serve our enemy, Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. So we're making him wealthy. Everything you see here in this picture is us making the so-called white man wealthy. He uses us. We go to him for everything, okay? So basically, we have not achieved anything here in Great Babylon, America, except being good old slaves, for Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, who is pumping a lot of false hope, in the 2/3 of our people that want to continue to follow the ways of Great Babylon, America. In fact, let's go into Genesis 27 and 41, because while they have you smiling and laughing and thinking that, you're going to move into the space age with them, here's what they're really thinking. This is Genesis 27 and 41 reads, And Esau hated Jacob, 12 tribe of Israel, so-called blasphemy Americans and Latinos, because of the blessing wherein his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, meaning that he was thinking this within himself, in his mind, he have a diabolical plan, This is generational hatred, Generational hatred. This is his intention. It reads, And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. Now, if you've been following the news carefully, Esau has been doing just that, very subtle. He's very subtle in the way he does it. Yes, you can have a job. Yes, you can sing and dance and play games or play basketball. Maybe you even own your own little business and you can call yourself a CEO or give yourself whatever title you want. But at the end of the day, this devil has horrible intention for you. Now, let's go into Habakkuk 2 and starting with verse 2, because, it's not our word, that we speak, it is the word and the inspiration that's coming from the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Now, when you go into this picture here, which is going to be for the rest of this lesson, you can see what Jake has been deceived, and what we are bringing out to you right now is prophecies of horrible judgments that's going to be coming on the children of Israel here in Great Babylon, America. Look at it: unrest, famine, concentration camps, military draft, Jacob's trouble, which is accumulation of all of these. You have the national persecution, and we'll go into the scriptures that talks about that. You have a beast system surveillance, which is basically set up to look at us. Gonna force us into that, accepting that microchip. Those who are not, under the protection of Yahweh Shai. And then you have the final judgment of Great Babylon, America, which is going to be that nuclear destruction, because, well, a lot of Jakes are going to accept the mark of the beast. They're going to continue to be disobedient and disloyal to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, and so they will die in the lake of fire, Lord willing. None of the brothers that I know, including myself, is going to be suffering in that lake of fire. Instead, we're going to be part of that elect that's going to be beamed up in the chariot, as you can see in that picture on the right. Okay, while Jason are left behind to die like the rest of the sinners here in Great Babylon, America. So it reads, this is Habakkuk 2, verses 2. It reads, and the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So here it is. Okay, you see the two prophets there in the picture. Okay, and what is above them is, the being the vision, the Mosai Yahweh Shai. Okay, giving them the vision. Okay, they're given the vision. This is the truth. Okay, it's not a lie. It is the truth. Esau deceives you. Okay, but again, when I read Genesis 27:41, where he talked about what his intentions is, which is to do what? Slay the children of Israel. All of this is the cumulative actions of the devil, Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man. So let's go into the scriptures and read the horror that is to come. Okay, this is Jeremiah 30, starting verse 6. It reads, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as if woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be safe out of it. Who's going to be safe out of it? Okay, those that fear the Lord, Yahweh Shai. Okay, those that serve him in truth and sincerity. The 1/3 elect, and we're going to talk about that. Okay, but for the rest of you, okay, you're going to be deceived. You're going to be deceived, and you're going to get into these judgments. This is the reason why you like to go and march out there. Talking about no justice, no peace. Because you don't understand where you're at. Okay, you're being picked up and thrown into these concentration camps, particularly the Northern Kingdom tribes, you Latinos and Hispanics. But they're also going after the Southern Kingdom tribes too. Such as the Levites, okay, and the Benjamites, okay, and they're gonna be throwing Judah inside there too. Okay, you have the famine, okay, and that comes in many forms. Okay, if you can't afford to buy food, then you're gonna starve most likely, and also your outprice. Okay, the food price, the price of food is above your wages. Okay, and they're also gonna stop giving free food, to Eve, who push out babies, with multiple men, and expect the so-called white man to continuously take care of her. That's coming to an end too, see. And also the Lord is going to put you in the military to go die. Okay, serve your master. Okay, in battle. Okay, let's go into Zechariah 13:8, because the Lord has a cleansing. Okay, he has a style in which he's going to cleanse the children of Israel. Okay, it reads, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord Yahweh Shai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but a third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. And they shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people who, the 1/3 elect. They shall say, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is my power. So, hey, you got everybody saying, Yahuwah. Okay, many don't believe in worshiping Yahweh Shai. Okay, and they refuse to repent. Okay, so guess what? You're going to be part of that two parts that the Lord is going to destroy. Let's go to Isaiah 30, and starting with verse 1, it reads, woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord Yahweh Shai, that take counsel, but not of me. You don't listen to the prophets. You're making mockery. Why? Because we don't wear 3-piece suit. We're not wealthy. We're not famous. Okay, so you mock us, you walk past us, and and we're the talk of jokes in barbershops and just about everywhere right now, and especially you women. Okay, really coming up against the men. Okay, and it says, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So Esau tell you it's okay to be a sodomite. Okay, it's okay to eat these abominable food. It's okay to you need to celebrate these holidays. That's un-American of you to not celebrate these holidays like 4th of July and do all these wickedness. You can commit adultery. You can do whatever you want. All right, and you listen to it because why? You believe in the lies that they're telling you that 2026 and beyond, hey, you so-called Negroes, you're going to be with us in the space age and all this other stuff. We're going to be going to Mars and, going to other galaxies, all this baloney imaginative stuff that he's telling you. And you really believe it. You haven't really looked at the fact that you've been the victim of abuse and oppression from the day one since we got here, even to right now. But you're just constantly just pushing it aside and go, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Turn to this man for some sort of mercy versus turning to the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, for mercy. It says, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked of my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. So you trust in this place. And so the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, is going to fix you up real good. Let's go into 2nd Ezra 15. And starting with verse 18, and it reads, for because of their pride, the city should be troubled, and the houses should be destroyed, and men should be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Now, if so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, and Hispanics are the poorest, here, last hired, first fired, the sword is constantly chasing after us, where they're going to put you in a concentration camp, or you have, the latest cop shooting, or the latest hanging or lynching, whatever the case is like that. Okay, basically, who's not gonna have pity on who? These Edomites sure as hell ain't gonna have pity on you. Okay, especially for Jakes that happen to live around these Edomite neighborhoods, assuming that somehow because they can afford it, that they're going to be accepted, they're going to be the exception, to the rules of these Edomites, which is basically, we don't really like you Negroes, Latinos and Hispanics, and Native Americans around us, they're gonna plunder you. In fact, let's go into 2nd Ezra 16, starting verse 68, and let's see how this plunder is going to continue, and it's going to be a national persecution, basically. It's going to be in every place, every state. It says, for behold, the burning rod of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they should take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them should be had in derision and reproach and trodden under foot. For there should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They should be like madmen, sparing none, but so spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So we are people that naturally fear the Lord, whether you want to believe that you're a Hebrew Israelite or not, or whether you think this is a cult or whatever the case is like that, as it is written in Habakkuk 2, verse 2, where we are commanded to basically explain it to you as basic as possible, and brothers are using animation, we use posters, we use video clips, we use movie clips, everything possible to basically show you, Jake, this is what's going to happen. I'm using AI to generate these pictures from the scriptures, and you're probably not going to listen. You'd rather go and try to negotiate with your enemy Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, not understanding that in fact he is set up and appointed by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, to do the judgment to his wicked children on the earth. Esau is the judge on the left of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai to execute these judgments. Why is it that you think I open up in Deuteronomy 28 and 48, where we have to go to him for all wants of things, and he's going to put a yoke of iron on our neck until he destroys? He's going to destroy us mentally, he's going to destroy us physically. No matter how we try to become equal to him, it's never going to happen. And I put out a lesson a few days ago stating that not all men are created equal, that we are in fact above them. But here we are in a cursed state here under Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. In fact, let's go into Proverbs 1 and start verse 24, because who's out here preaching to you? We are. Who's calling you? We are. We're not doing it on our own. We don't know you from crab, from fish, But this is the spirit of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai on this prophet. It reads, because I have called and ye refuse, I have stretched out mine hand and no man regarded, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. You want to laugh, make fun. You guys don't even have much subscribers, because it's not meant for the masses. Okay, look at you guys. You dress funny in those dresses. You stand up on the street corner. You're racist. You're going to do anything to keep, okay, that yoke of iron on your neck. And this is what you Jakes do. You will keep that yoke, or you want that yoke of iron on your neck because you need something to complain about. You need something for you. You feel like your life is not worth anything unless you run into the so-called white man to beg for mercy and look for the crumbs on the ground that he throws down to you. Well, those days of crumbs coming to you are over. Let's continue on. It says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. When the stress and anguish coming upon you, you can go, how is it so? You said you're going to make America great again, and we're going to be part of that. How is it so that we're all homeless? How is it so that I've lost everything? How is it so that I'm being persecuted? How is it so that I'm being thrown in these concentration camps? How is it so that I'm being drafted into the military? I can't find food to eat. I'm going nuts. I'm going crazy. This is all the stuff. We've seen this already on YouTube, social media. Okay, clips and clips of it. So much so you don't even, it's not even phasing you anymore. Continue, says, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. You don't have respect for us, and you don't fear your power, Yahweh Shemashai, because you have been diluted. Okay. Your spirit is diluted, and you've been basically brainwashed into believing that you're a part of a system that doesn't want you, that has intention of destroying you. In fact, let's go to Matthew 10, verse 34. It reads, think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foe should be there of his own household. So guess what? Family is not going to be any help of you like that. The same, Christianity, church going, Baptists, fake Holy Ghost, just wicked, demonic, people that, go into these churches and throw their money into being entertained. Okay, and y'all like to be entertained. Okay, and we're not entertaining, so that's why you hate us, because we don't entertain you. Okay, these same people are going to turn on you. They're going to turn on you. Okay, there's no loyalty among the wicked. In fact, let's go to Psalms 91 and start verse 7. It reads, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shall thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. And how are we going to see that? We're going to see it, okay, up close and personal, as we see dead bodies are piled up. Esau is slaughtering and killing you, throwing you in concentration camps. You're sent off to go fight a war that you don't know about, and you're going to not come back. Okay, and on top of that, okay, the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is going to destroy this place, so we're going to see you being burnt up in this place. Okay, in fact, we can close up with Isaiah 13 and 19. It reads, and Babylon, the beauty, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency should be as when power overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So what is that? How did the Lord Yahweh Shemashai overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah? Okay, with fire and brimstone. In this case, it's going to be nuclear bombs. Okay, and you're going to see the elect beamed out of here, okay, as you stay down below and die like the rest of the sinners here in Great Babylon, America. All right, so this has been, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Everything that you have heard today is going to come to pass, because this is spiritual. It is written and it is prophecy. There's a picture right there to kind of put into your head of what you can expect, okay, but it's going to be far worse, because you're going to actually experience it. So Lord willing, the elect will satisfy that, because we're giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.